Hi everybody, my name is Zainab and I know I recently have had a lot of new followers. So if you don't know me, my name is Zainab and I'm here with a much awaited review of the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. I've done this look using the palette and I've used it quite a few times. So I know thoda sa it's been around for a while now. So जिन लोगों ने लेना था फौरन से, the impulse buyers must have bought it already, but there must be a lot of other people who are still thinking of buying it and they don't know if. So if you're one of those people who don't know if you should buy it, if you shouldn't, if it justifies the price and all of that stuff, I hope this review helps you out. I have used it a few times, as I said, so I know very well where I stand on. Okay, so let's first talk about the packaging. This palette comes in this box thing which just says Huda Beauty Nude. It's pretty simple. It doesn't have to be fancy. You will probably throw this away. And then this is okay, so this is the actual palette. It has Huda's picture on it. It says New Nude, Huda Beauty, and you know, all these details are behind. And then this is what it looks like. In terms of packaging, I'm pretty happy with it. I know Huda has in the past have had a few, I mean, for the price charged for the products, the packaging was not very good. I didn't like the packaging of the rose gold palette. I didn't like the packaging of the foundation. But for this particular palette, I haven't tried her Desert Dusk palette, so I don't know what the deal was with it, with the packaging. But this particular one, I'm really happy with the packaging. It comes with a huge mirror, which is of course always a plus, and it's very sturdy. Okay, so let's talk about the actual product which you would probably buy the eyeshadow palette for. It comes with 18 shades, and I have to read this off the back because it's confusing. It comes with 18 shades and 5 textures. So the 5 textures are 10 buttery mattes, 4 multi-reflective shadows, 2 pressed glitters, and 1 pressed pearl, and 1 concealer. So let's talk about the quality of the shadows. They are amazing. All the mattes are super buttery. These pearly shades are super duper pigmented, and they remind me of the, you know, the pressed pigments. Sorry, not the pressed pigments, I mean the pigments, the Inglot pigments, the loose ones. They remind me of that, but they're just in the pressed format. So they're very, very shiny, very pretty, and I love these shades so much. They are, I mean, to be honest, these are the highlights of the palette. Then the glitters are kind of like loose glitters. They're in pressed form, but you would definitely need a glue to use them on your shadow. You cannot just take them and put them on. They're not mixed in any kind of medium. Yeah, so you would definitely need a glue to put on the glitters. So these were the two my favorite textures. The mattes in the shadow, the matte shadows are also super duper pigmented and buttery. I have no complaints whatsoever with the matte shadows. The mattes do have a little bit of fallout, but I don't have any complaint with that. All very pigmented and super buttery matte shadows have fallout, and if people say they don't, I don't know what to tell them. I mean, if something is buttery and it blends well, it has to be soft, and soft, I mean, it shouldn't crumble and fall all over the place, but a little bit of fallout is perfectly normal. I don't have any complaints. I think the mattes are amazing. The last set of shadows are these this 10-second thing is difficult to deal with. So the last set of shadows is this one, which is like a pearly finish, which is, I would say, a satin finish eyeshadow, and this is the concealer. This shade here, which is called Kinky, this is the pearly shade, and it's really pretty, really nice formula. The concealer, it doesn't do anything for me. I mean, I have brown skin and my lids are pigmented. When I want to put a concealer or a base on before I apply my eyeshadow, I want something to be very, very opaque. It should be like a concealer or MAC Painterly Paint Pot in soft ochre, and this one doesn't really have any pigment. It doesn't do much. So yeah, this didn't make sense for me, to be very honest. I mean, it's so, I feel like it would work with like very, very fair skin tones, but for medium to dark skin tones, this wouldn't do anything. Like if you see, if I swatch it here, it's, so yeah, this didn't make sense for me, to be very honest. I mean, it's so, I feel like it would work with like very, very fair skin tones, but for medium to dark skin tones, this wouldn't do anything. Like if you see, if I swatch it here, it's okay. So now coming towards the fact that this is focused on fair skins, the concealer, I feel the whole palette kind of is focused more for fair to light medium skin tones, and I'll tell you why I'm saying that. I know it's a nude palette, I know it's a pinky nude palette, and all the looks created by this particular palette will be like soft and nude, but still I felt it needed more of these shades. And by more of these shades, meaning more of like dimensional shades, darker shades, to deepen your crease, your outer V. I felt this is like just that one shade which could be used, but even for very, very dark skin tones, this wouldn't really work. I mean, I feel like it has so many light transition-y shades. If those, like for example, this one and this one and this one and this one, even this one, it lacks those dark shades. These two shades look dark and they would work again very well as those dimensional shades for lighter skin tones, but for darker skin tones, dark medium skin tones, these would be just like crease shades. They won't really create any dimension. So this is one of the things that I feel like if it would have had one more of this darker shades, it might be much better. And no concealer, I mean, they didn't do anything for me. And it doesn't have a highlight shade. Like this has a matte highlight, which is this one, which was kind of surprising for me. I feel like this could have been an all-in-all palette if it had one highlight shade and one of these darker shades. I feel like it's still missing stuff, and I like palettes to be complete. Like if they go with one theme, they should be perfect for that particular theme. It should have all of those shades which would help me stick to that theme. So yeah, these are the two issues that I have had with the palette. $68 is around 8,000 something rupees, and coming to Pakistan after customs and all, it would go to around 10,000 or even more. So it's a pretty expensive palette, and if I'm buying something like this, I want it to be complete and I want it to work for my. So yeah, that's my opinion, but I'm not saying that I don't like the palette. I absolutely love the palette. I love the shades, but I feel like it could have done much more for brown to like medium to dark skin tones, which I feel it's lacking a little bit, if you know what I mean. And another thing that I always look at whenever I'm buying a product, whenever I'm assessing a product, is the amount of product it has. So it has 18 shades and it has a total of 19.7 gram of product in it. So yeah, it has 19.7 grams. So all of these shadows together made a 19.7 grams of product. Now, if I compare it with the Mod Squad eyeshadow palette, I'm just using this as a comparison. It's by no means a a comparative kind of a palette. It's completely different. Yeah, so if I look at the Mod Squad eyeshadow palette, this has a total of 31 grams of product and it has 18 shades. So looking at it means that the amount of product which is in these pans is very, yeah, the amount of product is very, very small for the price. And that's kind of annoying, to be very honest. I mean, if you're charging that much, at least put more product in it. But if you're not using it every day, and if you're kind of a person I am, I mean, I would never be able to finish this eyeshadow palette because I have so many and I don't use them professionally. But yes, if you're a professional makeup artist and will be using them on a lot of people, then it's highly likely that you'd finish it very soon. And yeah. So yeah, I'll give you my final verdict. I think the palette is absolutely beautiful. It's really nice. The quality is amazing. I love the eyeshadows. It's just the technical and strategic part of the shadow of the palette that I'm not 100% on board with. So there are two types of people I would suggest who should buy this palette. One, who are like me, who just like collecting makeup. If you want to spend some money and put this in your collection, to be honest, I think it's much better than the Desert's Dusk and the Rose Gold one. But I do really like the Huda Beauty's, the small shadows. I think those are amazing. So if you just if you're a makeup collector like. And the second category of people I would suggest buying this palette is the girls which have light to light medium skin tones and like soft pink looks and want to get that one palette which does that for them. I think it's a really good palette. I love the quality. You can go ahead and buy it. I didn't swatch any of the shadows. There's so many swatches available all around, so I thought I just didn't have to do that. But if you think in my next reviews you would want me to swatch the products, let me know and I would be happy to do that. I hope you enjoyed this review. I like filming it. And so yeah, that was my review on the Huda Beauty Nude palette. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. I mean, in some time, or maybe tomorrow in one of my snaps or stories. Till then, take care. Bye bye. So now coming towards the price. Now what I'm saying is that I want it to be a complete palette. I wanted to be a complete palette because I am spending $68 to buy this one palette. That's a lot of money. $68 is around 250 dirhams and around